go ahead and get started. I was sort of expecting a phone call from Tom Saylor from the U.S. Forest Service. He emailed me, wasn't 100% sure he would be here. And I told him, hey, give me a call sometime after 9 o'clock in the morning, so kind of wait. So he maybe he's still coming. I think he may have changed his mind to come when I said I would be his proxy. So if you've looked at our new draft of our bylaws, which we'll talk to a little bit more in detail, but I sort of wanted to go over the committee membership and have a little bit of discussion about that. Before we get officially going here. Just as a little bit of history, when the committee was formed back in like 2009, we had, I guess, about 13 members at that time, if you will. And this will get to the bylaws. But we had a town employee. We had a town alderman, we had a county employee, we had a county commissioner, we had a hiking club member, we had a member from the U.S. Forest Service, we had a member from the chamber, we had a member from the Macon County Schools, we had a member from the Macon County Library, we had local business representation, we had 3 Eagle Outfitters, and we had Ron Haven. Soon after that, Stay and Play in the Smokies came on board as another tourism hiker related business. And then Outdoor 76 came on board. And now we've had the Lazy Hiker Brewing Company. I've already sampled your product. Come on board. You'll see that the bylaws, and that gives us to 15. If we kind of all agree that each one of those has a vote, maybe the town just has 1 vote, you have to kind of be determined. But then the bylaws also talks about non-voting members, the option for non-voting members, and that could be like, for example, the frogs. We could decide that there would be some members, but they're non-voting. We also address the idea of an ex officio members. The example could be the because of their position, could be the Franklin town mayor, could be the Main Street program, could be the Tourism Development Authority, and could be the Appalachian Trail Conservancy Southern Regional Office, as ex officios, because of what they bring to the table and the position they represent. And as Christine and I went through the bylaws, you'll see we talk in there about, percentage of people to be here, to be able to vote. We talk about excused absences, and letting us know, when you're not going to be here, and if you don't let us know, go ahead and excuse absence, hey, maybe we'll think about having the mayor talk to you about, do you really want to be here? Or do you want to have somebody else come, or something like that. But part of that was also the proxy idea, that if you could not be here, you could contact another member of the committee, and that person then would be given the authority and responsibility to vote for that person. And that would help us at times, when needed, get us to the majority to be able to vote. And Christina and I thought that so that the vote could never be kind of slanted one way or the other, is that each individual could only have 1 proxy. So it couldn't be that 4 people call up Justin and say, Justin, we want you to vote for us. So now all of a sudden Justin has 5 votes. So anyway, it's just kind of food for thought. And that's why in the email I sent out, I referenced the draft bylaw. For those that couldn't be here, they could let Matt, Christina, Patty or myself know that they're not going to be here and give them an excused absence, and then they could identify someone to delegate their proxy to. So that's kind of that's where we are with that. So having said that, the folks that I listed off before I got to the non-voting got us down to 15. And I believe the bylaws say that we would need eight folks to include proxies here to vote. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I counted for 2, 7, 8. Anyone else get proxies? Okay. So in theory, if I remember the bylaws right, we can vote on stuff.
Yeah, I heard from Shelley that she was hoping
Yeah,
to be
that's
here.
right, yeah.
I talked to her last.
So she still hoped that she could be here, right? Usually Rob or Corey want to.
Oh, Shelley did?
Yeah, they were a teacher short, so she couldn't make it.
Oh,
Okay.
I saw her.
Who did it go to?
I knew it, everyone.
I don't think I've had it. I just,
I've been
she may not
on the
see it.
road. Okay. She didn't sign a proxy, did she? Okay, well, to get started, I'd like to recognize Bobby for being here. Thanks, Bobby.
Thanks, Bobby.
Thanks, Bobby.
Yeah. Don't see any new members, don't see any guests. Justin, I'm glad you're not traveling or training or something.
I'm glad to be back too.
Yes,
Oh,
for a
that's
while.
Yeah.
Hey,
I'm planning on being here.
fatherly duties, no problem. No problem. Okay, I guess the first order of business would be to review the minutes of our last meeting. If anyone has any questions or additions, corrections. I guess the only,
Yeah, I did not get
okay.
any comments, revisions.
Does anyone remember, of course, neither Rob or Corey here right now, but I thought Corey was the one that was going to do work on the website. But then Rob's name cropped up, so I'm not,
He said that, he did say he would work on just updating that front page.
which, who?
Rob.
Oh, okay. Well, what was Corey's part?
He and I went and talked to Summer about the web addresses and everything.
Okay, so there's both of them in here, doing different, okay. Okay.
I think they were both
Okay.
And we're in the process right now. We need to get something from this group because we're updating our website. Tony's working on that right now.
All right, so could any more discussion about the minutes from the November meeting?
I move that you accept.
Okay, could I have a second?
Second.
Okay, Matt seconds. Linton, motion, Matt seconds. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, aye. Very good. Under the old business, mission and vision statement, I did not include that in the packet this time. I was trying to remember if we voted on that.
Those were revised and discussed, weren't they? After my initial
Right.
starting point.
Yeah, someone brought up that we really didn't mention the other part of the mutual benefit, and that is for Franklin. So we talked a lot about the trail and the hikers, but also, the idea of making sure that Franklin receives the benefit. And if we go to the bylaws, page 3, picks up commission. So we thought it was good to put the mission statement in there.
Before we leave, page 3,
And Bob, we'll go through, the intent is to go through the bylaws.
well, no, this concerns membership.
Yeah.
Have we done any discussion about which county commissioner we would like to be on this committee? Because Ron Havens no longer the county commissioner that was on this
Right.
committee.
Bob, what I did do as chairman, hopefully you'll fire me, but I did write an email to Forden.
Okay.
Kevin Forden, and talked a little bit about the committee. I gave some past history of the two commissioners, both Davis and Haven, and about the county employee, and let them know, or encourage sort of the county to get a little bit more reinvigorated in this committee. And he responded and said that he would look to identify a commissioner. And I don't know if there's an issue with Matt Mason's boss or not, allowing him to come to this meeting, but I made Kevin Forden aware that Matt was the person, that he hadn't been here in a while. But he didn't respond to that. He just said that he would be working to assign a commissioner to come.
Okay, I have one that I don't know how the committee feels, but I think would make a more active member than anybody we've had so far. Would be Gary Shields. Gary, I would like to see as part of this. The county has been a little lax in supporting this committee. Through whatever reason.
Right.
But that was why I was wanting to bring that up now to see if how this group would feel about it.
I would say we take what we can get. And then as far as
Yeah,
support,
if he would, yeah.
just whomever's willing to
Right. I don't.
commit to it on some level.
I don't.
It'd probably be hard for Jim Tate, since he lives in Highlands, to be a member. I was just thinking, Gary.
Gary probably is.
Just his school connection would be good too.
Well, yeah.
Not only that, he's a new commissioner, so he isn't loaded down with a lot of other stuff yet.
Yeah.
Right, he'll come, but
Yeah.
he might be willing to take something on. Bill, just for your information, and Christine, I just got a text from Corey. They're in Charlotte, they couldn't be here. He asked me to be his proxy. So
Okay. Good. Now we got almost working on supermajority.
Okay, that's all I wanted to mention there. Membership.
Yeah, I mean, I personally don't, if you want to let Kevin know that you think Gary would, his mind would be good, but again, I don't, I'm not sure one way or the other.
Okay, let's have someone other than no one.
Yeah.
Right. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I like Gary, but yeah, I think that would be willing to.
Justin, could you reach out to Matt and see what's going on? And, since you're both kind of in the planning side of things, obviously, if he can't be here, the logical follow-on for him to assign proxy to you, and if you can't be here and he can be here, or vice versa.
Yeah.
Okay, appreciate it. And again, it might be an issue with his boss, His boss understands it, and that's where chairman of the county commissioners can say a few words and make a phone call or something.
he is Bill, I've had a couple interactions, he is very busy.
Oh, yeah.
So,
why the proxy, you know,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
try to work through that. Okay. So the mission and vision, I'd sort of like to see if we have a motion to accept what we have for now, knowing that we can change it later.
I have one comment on wording.
Yep.
I don't know that it's needed, or it could go either way, but at the very bottom, funds solicited or received by the committee should be held in a federally insured account. I'm not sure we need either the word "and" or we could drop the word "use." Use solely for purposes of promoting the goals and objectives of that CC. Or say, and solely for the purposes. And I just don't know, it's just a minor grammatical clarification.
Okay, so which way would you recommend it, Mike?
Use, forget the and, use solely for, and almost makes you think, is there something else? Is there another and of something? That's the only comment.
So take out the and move solely in behind use solely? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay. And
I think I
all right. Again, we'll talk a little bit more, we'll talk more about the bylaws, but the intent there was, of course, we don't have money. Well, we don't have money now. That doesn't mean that we couldn't get a grant. And we're hoping that the town would allow us to put that money somewhere, so that we don't start dealing with an account. And we'll have a treasurer that will kind of track that, but at least for right now, I don't think we want to get into the, I mean, the Main Street program took care of that for us in the past. But again, we hope that the town would help us somehow with that.
I make a motion to approve the revised mission vision statement.
Okay, have a second? Okay, all in favor? Okay, then again, under old business, you got the AT celebration. I was given one of the items in the handout. It happens to be right after the minutes. You'll see a statement, short paragraph, well, maybe not so short. Starts this year. Holly Keys from the Smoky Mountain News sent me an email on Sunday. She needed a quick response. She wanted to put together something about what's happening with Franklin and AT and whatever. So I made some corrections or suggestions to what she had, and that's what you're seeing here. In a couple of places I made it a little less specific than what she originally had. But I just wanted to make you aware that that's what's out there, at least with the Smoky Mountain News right now. General statement of kind of what we're doing, and I guess that, that could be that could be used as a starting point for the website revision and or the Facebook page, notice at some point in time.
So you sent this?
Right, to Holly, yeah. She needed it like early Monday morning. And somebody else commented to her.
It was me,
Oh.
yeah, just a little.
Right, a little bit more about about what the library's doing, that's right, yeah.
Plenty of time.
Yeah. Now, again, I reached out to all the organizations that have done things in the past and asked them to, start thinking about the who, what, when, where, and why, so that we get more information to update the website, and if we get to the Facebook page, put it on Facebook. I'm sort of if that's push-pull or whatever, but I'm thinking we ought to go down that list and assign somebody to make sure that it happens. Because I feel that the web page, is there suspense on the updating, Bob?
No.
Okay, but you're getting.
It's in the process right now.
Okay. So.
And that's the town's website.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Corey and I are working with someone to get the AT website.
Okay. We'll link
Yeah.
this committee to the town's website also, like we will, like we did the Main Street program and all that. Yeah, it's way behind updating.
Okay, so the intent would be there'll be a separate website covering Franklin and AT. And
Before it was the April
Right.
Fools Trail Days.
Right.
On here you have Franklin AT Celebration, that's what we had talked about. But Corey, and he could explain all this much better than I can. Matt might throw it in, he might understand it. But when he did all the Google, I guess, analytics and searches and everything, Franklin AT Celebration didn't, I guess, really resonate very well. So he wants to use franklintraildays.com. It's still all encompassing. He said it pulls better, I guess.
I think people
He's very
searching
limited.
for AT Celebration.
Yes.
It's not a highly used search term versus the other element.
Summer said that, the town can get that for us. I guess Corey's already been in conversation with Tony about getting access for him to update the current one. And he and I will be getting together within the next week, either this Friday or next Tuesday, to finalize this and also get the Facebook page up and going. He and I both have had it in the same month.
Might be good,
Yeah.
might be good. Okay, so, again, going down the entities that we believe we want to solicit information from. Of course, we've got the First Baptist Church. We've got the hiking club with the picnic and Easter on the trail. We've got the library with their Walking with Spring program. We've got Ron Haven, Hiker Bash. We've got Three Eagle Outfitter and their anniversary. And we've got Outdoor 76 and the Lazy Hiker Brewing Cup, which both have said they were thinking about doing something. Is there anybody else out there right now? Right. So, in fact, there is a school, Macon County Schools. There was, why don't you explain what has happened? It's been 2 years now or 3?
I think 3. Yeah, for 3 years, the art teacher in the Macon County Schools has been bringing nature-inspired student art to the library and framing it, and we hang it out in the living room of the library, have a big reception for parents to come to, and the hiking club hosts the reception, and I make certificates for each kid, and they're not awards, they're like participation awards, not prizes for one's better than the other. And it's been great. I love it. We love having it at the library. This year, Naomi, the teacher, is going to be taking time off right around then. Her daughter is expecting a baby. And so we're not sure if she is going to get art to us before that. She sent us an exhausting and she wasn't sure she'd be involved, but she might be able to get art to us earlier. So we're still up in the air. I've let her know, it's a great thing to have at the library at that time of the year, and if I can help with it, I will. But I don't know, maybe she just wants breaks. How do I put that? Put that gently in an email. Maybe you just don't want to do this, and that's okay. We value it, but if you need a break.
Is there a way to simplify it? In other words, you said she frames it and all that. What if it was more simple and just, pictures that they drew and painted and put on a poster board or something that you'll display?
Well, by frame, I meant matted. She
Yeah.
was matte.
Okay.
So, I might just need to give her a call
Just
and have a
give
conversation
that option
rather
to
than
her.
email.
I mean, present it as an option.
Yeah, I'll just get a better idea from her. I don't know if you got any ideas about.
Well, I think the hiking club president's been involved in this discussion too, so I think the Nantahala Hiking Club will also, try to fill a void if we, if they can, to keep this thing going. So.
Yeah, and the library's the same way. We just.
And then, Christina, why don't you talk about the library's sort of changing a little bit?
Yeah, the last few years we've done 2 full weeks of programs, just right around the April Fool's Trail Day weekend, the week before and the week after, and try to do programs every night of the week. And it's kind of exhausting, and I have to be there every night. So this year when we started talking in this committee about spreading the celebration over a few weeks, I realized, that makes more sense. I could just do a couple nights a week, maybe one morning a week. So I'm looking at programming on Wednesdays and Thursdays, and then Friday mornings around 10 or so. The Friday mornings is kind of an experiment. I think people will come because they used to come to music programs in the morning. Tomorrow we've got the Silver Striders hosting Ola Pater doing a talk. And I think that group usually brings out a good group. So I've got a couple of things scheduled already. Those last 2 weeks in March. I don't know if you want me to go through what I've got scheduled so far.
I think that's good, just to let them know that it's not going to be necessarily 2 weeks. It's going to
I've
spread out a little bit.
let's see, I've got the Wayward Hiker, Dave Wolf is coming on Friday the 20th, I think, in the morning. He's going to talk about local waterfall hikes. There are a couple who've written three guides now, and I should have brought my copy of it. It's really great. You take it out every couple of weeks and find new waterfalls. So he's going to do a presentation, and then I've got Bob Plott coming. He works through the North Carolina Humanities Council. So he comes and talks about the history of the pot hound in North Carolina, and it's the whole history of the United States and North Carolina through the pot hound, which is the North Carolina state dog. And he brings a dog, which is really fun. So that'll be the next Friday for the 26th or 27th. I've got a lot of other things. Yeah, I want to get her back. Yeah, she's great. She's been on the Pacific Crest Trail. So. What else have I got? The Silver Striders, they're going to talk. Maybe the Southern Appalachian Plant Society, maybe the Franklin Bird Society. I'm talking with my yoga instructor, Jennifer McKenty, with Beyond Bending Yoga, about maybe hopefully doing some yoga walks on the Greenway out behind the library, and maybe a class. I'm trying to find somebody to do a kayaking program, kind of like with the idea of kayaking isn't just for experts, maybe. I know that you can rent kayaks at the outfitters, so If anybody has ideas about someone who might want to do a talk like that, what you can do locally. Oh, and movies. I'll show movies. I'm not going to have programs every night.
Okay. That's good. Glad to see it growing, for sure. So looking down our list, I'd like to have someone volunteer to reach out to Ron Haven and 3 Go Outfitters to either confirm or deny that, number one, they're going to do something, and number two, they're willing to provide the specific information to us so we as a group can help advertise it.
I'll contact you.
Okay.
Thought I heard her say that.
Nobody else wants to know.
Dave, can you talk to Ron Haven and?
I can talk to them.
Okay. We'll do the personal touch. Email not working too well. Thanks. And I will work with the First Baptist Church. Okay. Patty, anything else other than what you've already given us the update on the website and the Facebook page?
How many admins were we planning on doing for the Facebook page? Are they? We've done discussion on that.
Exactly.
It's something that's a lot for one person that
Yeah,
you got
we
the.
talked about definitely having more than one.
Right.
I know I was in, Corey and I are setting it up, so I guess it's
Just
just
with
us
you.
and then anybody
As
else.
long as there's more than one, I
Yeah.
think.
Well, anyone else that wants to.
Okay. I'm not signing up for it. I was just concerned that if it's just one person doing it, that it becomes a
Yeah.
little cumbersome.
Yeah, I'd be glad to help. Is it kind of corrected some of their admin stuff?
One of the things that I used to drive me nuts is like if you liked something and you were listed as an admin,
Yeah.
show it as a page.
That's that page.
And then no one would like it myself.
I know.
Yeah,
So I get
I
more
do that all the
likes up.
time on my husband's art page. I think I'm liking something as myself.
Now they've corrected it where you can actually say,
Switch,
You can
yeah.
switch,
yeah.
You just have to remember to switch it.
Right. Not tacky like your own stuff.
I know. Keep it so there.
Right. Yeah.
It's bad enough that his wife is
Okay, we've got the Macon County Transit. I'll make a point to talk to Corey. And Justin, have you talked to the?
Not since the original discussion, they agreed with those amounts and the time frame.
My concern is the permitting process. That Macon County Transit pursues that, and I'm willing to get involved if I need to.
They said how much the permit was?
It could be nothing, or it could be a small percentage of the profit that they make. I'm not that familiar with.
That just seemed, I don't know, it just seems like something you would think another government agency would be exempt from.
Don't know. Don't know. I do know that the person that has handled those permits retired from the Nantahala Ranger District, and there's a lady coming at least one day a week, I believe, from the Asheville 4 supervisor's office. So it's, we need to get those folks connected.
So Bill, I haven't been to all the meetings, just several of them lately. It's that we think there's a permit needed in order to pick people up at the bar up there.
Right, the thing that needs to be considered is this business making profit off federal lands? That's kind of the question. Like going up there, right at that point, collecting hikers and,
So is Ron Haven, does he have a permit with Forest Service?
don't know, my understanding is he never charged. He does it for free, just like me picking, or you picking up a hitchhiker.
Actually, he charges for that.
He has a permit because I know he had to get insurance and proof of insurance and all that to get his permit. Especially if you're a business going up there picking up everyday citizen, you can go up and pick somebody up, give them a ride in town, don't charge them, that's not an issue. But if you're doing it on a regular basis and charge, then you need a permit.
It's like I'm with Justin, there seems like there should be something in there that's making county transit.
Well, again,
It's not a business.
I'm no expert, and some of that can be handled locally with a local ranger, and, he may say, not,
Right.
lots of things like that. So,
Well, we heard from the local rangers, they're probably not going to charge them anything for permit.
They just want
They
to.
just
Checks the block,
Yeah.
because if they let them do it, then everybody else comes up, well, these people don't have a permit.
Right.
Why can't I do it?
So the main thing is we gotta get, it's Kim, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we gotta get Kim. I mean, we all think this is important. I know Rob and Corey think it's important. It's a great service to provide. It'll be a big plus for Franklin that we are providing that service for a very nominal fee to come down the mountain and get back up there. So.
Put it in the book.
I was gonna
Published
say,
it.
yeah.
Somebody gotta follow through with it. Somebody get there and expect them to come pick all the number, and then they say, oh, we can permit.
Sorry,
it.
I didn't
Sorry.
permit.
The first impression we were looking for.
Bylaw review.
Nice job.
Yeah, thank
It's
you.
not a fun job.
It's an interesting process.
Well, we had a couple of kind of okay examples, and hopefully we corrected most everything as we went through.
The first thing that comes up to me is the website needs to change.
Right.
If that's
What page is
what
that
we're
on?
doing. Section 3.
Page 3, section 3. Well, let's see. Is that the Facebook?
No, you've
Yes.
got
Website.
Both.
Both.
So we Franklin Trailways .com.
For both the website and the
No,
Facebook.
for just the website.
And soon we'll try to secure Franklin Trail Days. Is that available?
Yeah, available.
Do you already grab it?
No, but I have somebody that
Okay.
will check on it, make sure it's everything.
And the Facebook page, same? You think? So Patty, the Facebook page the same?
No, the Facebook page will say Franklin ATP.
Okay.
Can we go back to
So this is really just about the trail basis.
section 2?
Sure.
I talked about the funds and so forth. But the very last one, the committee shall not carry on propaganda or otherwise attempt to influence legislation except as a very small part of its activities. That's a very ambiguous statement.
Sort of nebulous.
Very nebulous. And my question is, do we even need it in there?
I tend to agree with that, because we
Agree that it doesn't need to be there, or agree?
Yeah, that it does not need to be there. Define propaganda. Anything that the government says is propaganda.
Well, but not only that,
Opinion
but
is
then
what's
at the end of the
propaganda.
sentence, we're saying we will do it.
Yeah.
But we aren't defining what to do. So I think until we come up with exactly what that would mean, it really doesn't have a place in the mission or vision statement. That's just my comment. I'm open to, obviously, discussion.
Well, it was interesting, Lenny, when we went through the examples we had, we know the committee will never, make a statement to the county commissioners about anything. To another one had something that said, yeah, we're going to do it, but it's only going to be a real small part of what we do. So those were the two, and that's
why I would say we delete it.
That's fine.
Because A, you're going to the county commissioners tonight.
right.
In which could be interpreted as a, influencing. So I just think.
This could make us sound
Okay, fine.
Um,
less
It was just interesting. One of them, like I said, there were two examples. One said
Right.
no, never, and the other said believe. So,
Yeah.
Go back and, because we already approved those.
yeah, that's why I said
We need to go.
we just
We need to approve the revised.
we need to yeah, and that's why I make
And that makes total sense, I'm with you on it.
I make a motion that we.
Well, the deal is, in theory, what we meant to say, the mission is, and it's just those 4 bullets. It's not the funds and that other thing.
True, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the mission only goes to.
It's the 4 bullets.
Okay.
Mission is at the 4 bullets.
Okay. So we don't.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So we're okay.
Okay. We're good.
And the other thing I'm throwing on the website is Summer agreed that we would keep the current one for at least a couple of years and just funnel it to the new one until people get used to it.
And I don't plan on us voting on this today, okay? Because we'll make changes and all that. So don't worry about that. If you need more time to go through it, that's fine.
Article 2 of membership. And I hate to be the only one bringing up
No, go ahead.
comments, but I'm still not convinced that the first sentence, section 1, the members of the committee shall be composed of persons of good moral character who support the purpose and objectives. Who's to judge the good moral character? I would propose leaving out of good moral character. Obviously, we want that, and we can police that by the committee. But if something comes out that
What's the standard?
exactly what's the standard?
Right.
I mean,
Can you have a misdemeanor, or are you a felon, or
Yeah,
a
right.
child molester?
well, and if we define what the good moral character is, that's okay. But if we don't define it, again, it's just kind of.
Yeah, I had a question about that too. And I think someone who supports the purposes and objectives of this organization.
Okay, so
I
we'll
think that covers.
take of good moral character out,
Of persons of good moral character.
Person. So just go
compose.
persons who support the purpose.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Try to get words there.
Yeah, you might not be able to be on it, right, Bob?
We're going to have to vote Bob
Let's have a
off,
discussion here real quick.
off the island.
So in section 2 there, it talks about committee no less than 11, no more than 15, and that gets us to where we are now, and obviously we can, revise the bylaws if we need to be. But right now we're at the 15.
In that section, we talked about participation. Is that in the when we talked about participation? About the number of misses or whatever? Where was that?
Section 5 talks about the proxy.
Right. So that's
The unexcused absences is on the last page of section 2.
Last of section 2.
Yeah, on page 10, section 2.
Oh, okay.
Unexcused absences for more than 2 meetings.
Okay, well, I don't want to jump ahead. We can go.
Okay.
But is this what you're talking about, section 5?
Yeah, I guess I wondered why. I was thinking this should be, the absences should be where we talk about proxies, perhaps. Because you're saying you want a proxy, but it also outlines if we want any teeth in the proxy, let people know right there that if they miss, that they potentially are, they may be asked to resign. Not that they will be, but they may be, which is what we say. And I'm okay where it is. I just think
It looks like Article 2 and Article 14 are sort of the same thing.
They might.
one is referring to this, to the executive committee, I think.
Well, Article 3 is advisory committee composition, and Article 14 is advisory committee membership. I guess that could be two different things. Sort of talking about the same thing.
No, there might be a way to consolidate those.
Maybe under section 5, if we put it, we talk about excused. A committee member who has an excused absence from a scheduled meeting is expected to assign a proxy or send a representative.
Yeah, I kind of agree too.
So it's a
that
difference between
the Article
excused
2
and-
and the Article 14 need to be closer together. They need to either be combined or one needs to come before the other because there's a lot of gap in between something that talks about the same thing.
Yeah.
The other note I would say in section 5, send a representative with an assigned proxy letter. I think that's a little too, in this day and time,
Right.
an email or text or any type of formal communication. Like, I'd be happy to show people the text from Corey, but he may not send me a letter.
From Charlotte.
Yeah, exactly.
Do we even need that section?
Well, I think we need the proxy to make sure that we can vote.
Well, I think he's saying, do we need,
Or we just,
assign a proxy to another committee member?
or send a representative, period?
Yeah.
Without the proxy letter?
Yeah.
Okay, we're good moral characters, so we trust people in our lives.
That's right, really.
Okay. We'll put a period after representative.
Yeah.
And so Christina, I made the recommendation that it reads, a committee member who has an excused absence from a scheduled meeting.
Okay.
Has an excused
Who has an
absence.
excuse? Okay.
Absence.
What did okay, who decides whether it's an excuse or absence?
I think if they let us know.
If the funeral home calls, they've got you.
Well, for this one, I would,
agree with you.
for this meeting, I was saying that a member of the executive committee would be informed. And if that member is happy with the excuse given and a proxy has been assigned, then
I guess, again, and I'm not trying to be too difficult, but I want it to be as concise and we're able to execute what we're putting together.
sure.
And my concern is that I call and, hey, I got to take my wife shopping. Now, to you, that may not be a reasonable excuse. On the other hand, it's the only day we can go Christmas shopping for the grandkids. You see what I'm saying? So do we want to make it, or do we want to say we just advise, if we're unable to make it, we advise an executive committee member?
I would think if you
in a signed
If you
property.
just say something beforehand, you text or call or say, Bill, I can't be there tomorrow, I got something I gotta do. And that's excused absence. But if you just don't call nobody, you don't
Right.
see anything,
And that's-
No correspondence.
nothing whatsoever, then that's unexcused.
No,
No matter-
and I agree with that concept, is that you're just basically letting them know, and then Bill can say, well, Justin, would you mind calling and getting a proxy? Or, you know,
Right.
Could we not do like the town board does? The town board, if one of our members is absent, we excuse, the board excuses them or does not excuse them. I think that's Robert's Rules of Order.
So there's a vote, the TDA has a vote on whether to excuse or not to
And-
excuse,
And I
or just.
think we should follow that rule that we vote whether to excuse a member or not. And if
I'm
one,
a
if
flavor
Bill
of it.
pipes up and he says, Joe Blow called and he can't be here today, then that explains it all. We just vote on it.
We don't have
That
to
rule.
get the reason why.
Well, then-
Exactly.
So we're back, I think we're keeping the way it is. You must be absent. As long as they assign a proxy, we're basically saying it's good to go.
Okay, so actually leave it the way it is.
Yeah, so it's not consistent with showing up. You wonder about
they're.
their interest in being on the committee to start with.
Well, that gets me to, when we get to it, that last one, you know, we missed two, but.
Now, I got a question. I don't mean to throw Paul out. You're gonna keep his finger in the right.
No, that's it.
But I just, clarification, I think would be just good at this point. Now, when we say we have, obviously a lot of people on the committee are individuals, you know. Bill Horn, Mayor, now Kristen. What about the entities like Outlaw 76 and Lazy Hiker, where you got multiple owners? Are they representing Outdoor 76 as one vote, or are they representing themselves as two votes?
One vote. I would think so. I mean, we've been.
I'd always thought it's one vote.
In
A business has one vote.
So if Ken and Lenny were here together, only one of them gets to vote.
Yeah.
And Rob and, unless he gives a proxy, but you can't say Rob and Corey are both out, so they get two votes each.
No.
It's
I
the
think
end-
it's
it's
one
the
vote
business.
for the-
Yeah, the
I think
entity.
that's a fair way to do it.
Just like the library, the hiking club. Yeah.
I just want to make sure we were
Yeah, I mean, that's,
aware on that.
that's kind of what I think we're all thinking. Yeah. But then, having said that, the way it is right now, at least in my mind, is the town has two votes and the county has two votes. And then it goes back to when we were initially set up, there were those positions. They had two formal positions as part of the committee, when the committee was established by the town council.
Well, just to make up a point, do we need to tighten that to say that, committee, or the committee members or entities only have one vote? And I'm trying to find it. We talked about 15 members. Yeah, section 2, we don't, but where do we define?
I think that goes back to this.
Yeah, Bill, you read where you
Section
talked about.
14, the advisory committee membership. First and page.
No, but Bill was reading how, what the makeup was early in, before we started our meeting.
Oh, that was going down,
But do we need to have that in the makeup so that in the future, the town knows that they've got only two votes? I mean, we don't see.
the application that the town submitted defined those initial entities, people, if you will. Since that time, we've added Outdoor 76.
So do we reference that somewhere that we can go back? I don't think it should be actually, I don't believe it should be in the bylaws, but it should be referenced that it's the committee is based on a list maintained by or something. Because if you didn't show up at the next meeting and somebody said, how is this committee made up? I'm not sure any of us could spell out.
It's like a master copy, attachment of everybody.
A current list, that is updated periodically or whatever.
Well, we could include that in the bylaws.
But you don't want to put names of companies. You want to say the town has 2 votes, individual companies that are nominated or selected to be a member have 1 vote. That might be appropriate, but not to name Outdoor 76 or Lazy
Right.
Hike or, because.
Might be somebody else next
That
year.
Exactly,
would
exactly.
change over the years.
Yeah.
Change the bylaws.
What if you did those entities or those people, but you had their term?
Well, that's
When they
another way to
expire,
do it.
and then after, so they're good to this date, and then.
Yeah, just like you would any board of directors, I guess.
Was there a problem listing, we could say the town has 2 votes, but listing all the votes, the town, the county, the hiking club, the Forest Service, the chamber, and listing Lazy Hiking Brewery Company, Outdoor 76, the Eagles.
If we have a term for those, it's not a problem.
It was a 2-year.
And, okay, but, okay.
Maybe you can put something like, the secretary, shall maintain a current list of the voting
I like
members or something
Yeah.
like that.
Okay.
So that you got, someone's got a list.
Someone's got a list, yeah.
And they
That's a
maintain
good
that.
way to keep it
And
simple.
then keep
say-
it out of, keep the names out of the bylaws.
Yeah, because bylaws.
And just, the secretary or whoever maintains the list.
Where would we want to include this then?
Well, under
Section
Article 3, Section 2, where we talk about 11 to 15,
Yeah, yeah.
they
there
put
you
in
go.
there, that
Yeah.
the secretary will maintain a list of voting members. Is that-
Is that the end of that paragraph?
Members, member could be an individual, could be an entity.
Members and voting members. You have with everybody, some are non-voting, but you have a list of them.
Actually, should make the intersection.
And then
Because that talks about new members of the committee should be elected, and so the secretary will maintain a list, a current list or something.
So it'd be a list of, I think we're saying voting, non-voting, and ex officio members.
Right. And just, yeah, it'll be maintained by the secretary.
Secretary will maintain a current list of voting and non-voting members.
And the expiration.
Okay, I recommend that we leave this for now, so we've got a couple of things to get through and vote on before tonight.
Yes.
I would like to just say thank you to you and Christina for putting this together to this point. It's really, we're nitpicking now, but it's in great
Yeah,
shape.
that's good.
Yep.
All right.
Okay.
I'm not gonna list all those changes, but
And if you've got, obviously, if you look through it, got other thoughts, please send them to Christina and myself. And we'll attempt to get it cleaned up and review for next time. We talked about any sort of the action item review. We've got the action items we've been working on. I think the main one we discussed last time, I've got on the agenda is the recertification. We said we felt at that time it would be best to have a separate meeting in January other than our regular scheduled meeting where each of us would have gone through, to the best of our ability, the recertification form, and then we come together finalize our input on the recertification form.
I think that meeting could be after business hours, that would help me.
These are pretty tough.
Yeah,
Unless-
we're on the start line.
And unless we're scheduled, I would be happy to offer our event room as a meeting place. The town hall may be closed or whatever.
We can open the town hall, but
Okay.
I'd like to be
Yeah,
down there.
I would, yeah, I would.
We don't,
We'll bring our own. We'll bring our own, how's that?
Come on now. We have an ordinance against reality.
So for those of you that run businesses, what is there one night out of the week, you know?
It's just, for me, it's just after business hours.
For
Make it.
this meeting,
Oh, for,
This-
I was just really,
this,
I was really talking to the second meeting in January, but
Yeah, this working on the recertification.
That'll take a little while.
application.
If we get a date, I'd be happy to put it on our event room calendar.
Okay. Most Tuesday evenings are good for me. Tuesdays or Wednesdays.
Wednesday's being church, so.
I don't mean to throw a monkey wrench into it, but I'm going to, this is a public body. And all of our meetings have to be open to the public. I don't know if that would make any difference to you guys or not. We have to post where we're going to be, when we're going to be. Because you are an official committee in the town, so. Okay, I just want to make sure that'd be all right with you guys, because we can meet it where we want. We just have to post it
Yeah.
where we're going to be. Okay?
I mean, if it gets to be, you know, because it's at the room, we've got 100 people.
I don't think it'd make any difference, I just don't want to
Yeah,
write
no,
my hand on
right.
it, that's all.
I think it would be good to actually have a calendar. I know we say the second Monday, Ron meeting.
Tuesday.
Second Tuesday.
Yeah.
To actually have a calendar we come up with and say, here it is. And then you can look and see, but when you go through, you might go, oh, the second Tuesday in September is on a holiday. So maybe we need to move it to a Monday or a Wednesday or something. So we don't run it like that one week, a couple of weeks ago when town hall's closed.
Veterans Day. yeah.
Veterans Day,
Yeah.
when we run into that issue. So we,
We had it all planned out.
it's
Right.
planned.
Yeah, I think-
And then
I
it's
think
public,
that's
and
good.
then it's like, here it is, and
I think that's good that we can go through and,
then plus you take that and we can put a book up there and reserve it for the year.
yeah, to go ahead and set up a calendar for all of next year. And I think the executive committee, we can do that, come out with a proposal next, the January meeting. And that gets them all set, gets them reserved. And Bob, I don't know, about the advertising, I don't know how we need to do that.
Oh, we just post it, that's all.
But we meaning the town will take care of that,
Yeah.
whatever the mechanism is? Okay.
Yeah.
This recertification
Form,
meeting
yeah.
that we're talking
Yeah.
about doing in January, does that need to be done before our next meeting?
No.
Does it matter?
No, I think we get in January, we need to have the form filled out by like March.
Okay.
We figure out if we're gonna have some sort of event, and what that event's gonna be, and get on the calendar and that type of thing. So if we plan on meeting on the 13th, as we normally do,
That would be the 14th.
Tuesday.
Oh,
Tuesday.
Oops, I'm sorry.
Tuesdays.
Tuesday.
What are your Tuesdays?
Oh, we're on here.
I only ask because I did that last meeting.
so, you want to, Thursday or Tuesday?
either's good with me.
Christina, is Thursdays?
Thursdays are not so, well, it depends on the Thursday.
15th to the 22nd?
15th, I've got Brent Martin at the library.
22nd?
Second, yeah, second day.
That's a Monday. Oh, that's true. They're
It's
all
a
Monday, too.
Thursday.
This is just for this pre-certification.
Oh, that.
Yeah, it's gonna take a little while.
I think, what, meet at 7, plan 2 hours?
So,
I'd say move it earlier
Earlier is fine.
and then go to whatever meeting.
That's good. It's a good start.
5:30? 6?
He has fire meetings.
Every Thursday?
Okay, so we're going from Tuesday to Thursday.
Well, I think we're back to Tuesday now.
Look at it, the 20th.
And I'm the only one though, majority of everybody else, or actually just one.
And that's to work on the recertification.
This is
Yes.
just
That's
isolated.
a one-time.
Yes.
Yes.
One
Make
shot
sure
deal.
everybody's on the same
Go
page.
through, get 99% filled out, and we'll come back and we'll look at it. and-
Get the other
Well,
10
is it
people, that's fine.
Thursdays when those 76 always
Right, vice
have
versa.
after hour events.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, Tuesday the 20th.
Tuesday, the 20th.
I mean, if we get 80%, that's good. Plus, if you fill it out and bring the form, or you get the form to somebody, one of us, we're good to go with that. So,
You can be like Roxanne.
so we're doing 6 p.m.?
6 good?
Yes.
Okay.
Can the ATC provide?
Bob loves pizza.
Bob loves
Yeah.
for real.
We can get some money for that. So that's gonna be the 20th at 6 o'clock p.m. 6 p.m.
And I think everybody's got the form. Probably had the snowstorm of the century. Okay.
At Lady Hyper?
Yeah.
Western Citizen, that's what I heard. They're going to know.
Do you have a name for the room, lady, or was it
It's just
Well,
dark.
Not
I guess
nice.
it was.
We're not gaming.
So the 20th, we're gonna meet at your place.
It's swapping.
Okay, any other old business? Anything that could have classifies under old business? Okay, 6 o'clock. Okay, under new business, we talked about the school AT art program. Any other questions about that? Okay, letter to the commissioners and 9 December meeting. I've included in your packet a letter, you could say is draft. I sent this letter out to the executive committee, which means Christina, Patty, Matt, Bob. Several people asked that I take a phrase out versus talking about camouflage and police, which I did. And so
I understood what you were trying to say.
We did.
But I totally understand.
that was a phrase from Brent Martin, and he also said take it out. So
Man.
I give up. No, it's fine. So that's the only change I made, other than the way AT is displayed. Appalachian Trail Conservancy, when they display it, it's capital A period, capital T period. So I did that, but then, like I said, I just took the police out. So one thought I had was, if people are happy with the letter, I would make a few comments to the commissioners. Basically what's in the letter, saying, hey, please take a relook at this. Saying 100% no, I really don't think is what you meant. Considering one of our missions is to protect the Appalachian Trail, the best protection the trail can get is to be completely surrounded by wilderness. I'm not going down that path, but I'm saying that there are certain areas in Macon County that the experts, if you say that U.S. Forest Service is kind of the expert, they would recommend for potential additions to wilderness. Whether they ever get there or not through the democratic process, one would see. But for our commissioners just to say no 100%, I don't think that was real wise.
just for information, the town of Franklin in July passed a proclamation basically in support of the Wilderness Act, and I have copies of that proclamation. So the town has recognized the potential, the long-term potential of just a few wilderness areas. We're not talking about a huge amount of land, but we have talked about a couple of pockets of wilderness. But the county commissioner's resolution said no more wilderness. I mean, it was very,
Was the town's unanimous?
oh, yes.
Of course, they're kind of two different. You know, the town just said, hey, it's great that we've got these things.
Sure.
You know, now the commissioners saying they don't want
Different
any,
statements.
they don't want any more in Macon
Right.
County. But as part of the U.S. Forest Service forest planning process, the Forest Service posted like a week ago a listing of the areas that meet the criteria in their mind for being considered to be recommended as federally designated wilderness areas, and there are like 4 areas or 5 areas that the Forest Service identified in Macon County.
And I think it's listed, what is around about, only about 10,000 acres, I think, in the whole
Yeah, I don't
shooting match. It's not a huge, it's just a fraction of what's going to still be available for logging.
So what I'd like to see is, before we leave, is I will draw a few little pencil lines at the bottom of this, and I would encourage everyone to print and then sign your name. It'll be kind of small to get everybody on, but so that, you know, the letter, and we'll vote, but the letter says, you know, members of the Franklin Appalachian Trail Community Committee, but this is sort of like, in my mind, like the Declaration of Independence. We either hang together or we don't hang separate.
On your talking points, I have a question.
Okay, now to get to that, those talking points, that sort of falls under the U.S. Forest Service Forest Plan comments. It really has nothing to do specifically with the letter, Lenny, although they are related. I provided those to you with the hope that if you haven't already considered as an individual, looking at the forest planning process, that you might want to submit some comments. And those bullet comments came from the Wilderness Society, and I've also included what I believe will be a letter to the editor by Bill McLaren. But that's under the Forest Service plan revision.
Okay.
It's nothing really to do with.
So
I don't want to get
you're
into
going to speak to.
No, I'm going to speak to what's right in the letter.
Okay.
I make a motion to approve the letter.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, no abstentions? Okay. And again, before we leave, I'll draw a few lines on here and get everybody's signature. That'll be good. Unless anybody has any questions about the U.S. Forest Service forest planning process, there is a suspense of 5 January that they'll be taking comments from. Any other new business? Floor is open. Any updates, questions, concerns? New baby photos?
Looks good. I would make a motion to adjourn.
Just,
Further business.
Just to comment, we're scheduled for our next regular meeting, second Tuesday of January the 13th from 10 to 11:30.
Before we adjourn, Bob, if I can.
Yes, sir, certainly.
We are not sure yet of our exact opening for the Lacey Hydro. It depends on equipment and installation and all. And so we can confirm we'll do the appreciation picnic. I'm not sure how we're going to be able to address other activities in time to have them listed, other than just saying we will be available and have things as we can.
Well, I think the website, and that's to be understood,
Yeah.
that it'll be updated,
Okay.
say, like check rack frequently to see
Okay.
additional.
I just,
We can throw it on the website.
Yeah.
on the Facebook
Okay.
page.
Yes. and we'll put it on our Facebook and that page.
And then from the Facebook page, we'll be able to set up individual events. Or people can.
Yep, very good.
Okay,
My second motion to adjourn.
Okay.
all right, don't go away.
Aye.